Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Jean. Jean is a short form of Eugene, a name brought to England by way of the Norman-French after the conquest of 1066. It's the Old French equivalent of the Greek epsilon upsilon gamma epsilon nu iota omicron, eugenēs, from eugenēs, meaning well-born, noble, from the elements eu, good, and genos, birth. The name Eugene was borne by a few early saints and 4 popes who helped to popularize the name in medieval times. However, it was a Frenchman named Prince Eugene of Savoy who really enhanced the attraction of the name in 17th and 18th century Europe. Considered one of the greatest military commanders in European history, Eugene of Savoy fought for Austria and the Habsburg monarchy against the Ottoman Turks. Eugene switched his loyalties from France to Austria because the French King Louis XIV denied him entry into the French army. Big mistake in hindsight, because Eugene would later successfully fight against his own motherland, thus saving the Austrian Habsburg Empire from French conquest. He also kept the Ottomans from moving west and liberated Central Europe from Turkish occupation. In other words, Eugene of Savoy was a legendary figure in his own time, and his military achievements on behalf of the Austrian Empire remain unsurpassed. Aside from Jean's connection to Eugene, the biological term gene is also a vocabulary word first coined in 1905 in describing a unit of heredity that is transferred from a parent to her offspring, essentially a determining factor in the formation of the offspring's characteristics. In this sense, the word is ultimately traced to the Proto-Indo-European, prehistoric, root * gene, meaning to produce, give birth, beget. Personality of the boy named Jean. The master number 22 combines the traits of 2s and 4s into a powerful force. The references to the master builder and large undertakings serve to underscore the massive potential of this personality. They are extremely capable and therefore almost always successful. 22s are courageous leaders, innovative thinkers, extremely wise, and highly organized. As such, they are able to manifest something of major importance that will have a lasting impact on this world. Master numbers carry with them a great sense of responsibility, so it can be a burden. However, 22s are executors and action takers. Further, this personality exhibits traits of the 2s, which bring sensitivity, spirituality, and harmony, so their endeavors are likely to benefit mankind in some capacity. Popularity of the boy named Jean. As a standalone name, Jean has been in circulation since at least the late 19th century. His heyday came in the mid-1920s to the mid-1940s, when he was often found on America's Top 100 list. In fact, 1937 was Jean's best year ever, ranked number 61 in popularity, probably owing to the fame of Gene Autry, aka the Singing Cowboy. The name held respectable positions on the charts for many years before declining noticeably in the 1980s. Enter the 21st century and Jean is nowhere to be found. 1999 marks the last year Jean would claim top 1,000 status in America. Only 65 baby boys were given the name Jean in 2013, out of nearly 2 million. In other words, his fashionable days seem to be over. Quick facts on Jean. Gender, boy. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 1. Ranking popularity, not applicable. Pronunciation, Jen. Simple meaning, well-born, noble. Characteristics of Jean. The master builder, confidence, large undertakings, leader, organization, discipline. Cultural references to the baby name Jean. Literary characters of the baby name Jean. Jean Forrester is the narrator/protagonist of John Knoll's 1959 coming-of-age novel, A Separate Peace. Set in the summer session of 1942 at a fictionalized Phillips Exeter Academy, it tells the story of the friendship between 2 16-year-old boys and its fateful outcome, all in the shadows of World War II. Jean is an introspective, quiet, insecure, and studious boy who has rather a hero-worship crush relationship with his roommate and best friend, Phineas, Finney. Finney is everything that Gene is not: outgoing, brash, confident, extremely athletic, and unself-consciously rich. Finney is a person on a pedestal, and quite comfortable there, thank you very much. Our Gene is a mishmash of emotions with respect to Finney. He admires and envies him, he both loves and resents him, and there is no small suggestion of a homoerotic overtone to the situation. The plot revolves around Gene's accidentally causing Finney's crippling fall from a tree and Gene's coming to terms with the aftermath of this disaster. The separate piece that comes at great price to Gene is a result of his identifying with Finney to the point of almost becoming him, by assuming the highest and purest aspects of Finney's character, and by moving from conflict into a state of pure love and devotion for the boy. By the time Gene enters the battlefields of war himself, he has already become a man. Popular songs on Gene. A song by Guided by Voices, a song by the Stray Cats, My Selfish Gene, a song by Ian Dury, a song by Incubus Succubus, Mr. Gene, a song by Beulah, Gene Autry, Sweet Gene Vincent, Hedonistic Gene, a song by Catatonia, Gene by Gene, a song by Blur, Gene and Eddie. Famous people named Gene. Gene Wilder, born Jerome Silberman, actor/comic, Eugene Gene Hackman, actor, rock star, Eugene Gene Siskel, film critic, Gene Saracen, golfer, Gene Autry, singer/actor, Eugene Gene Kelly, singer/dancer/actor, Gene Simmons, born Heimwitz, Gene Littler, golfer, Gene Zion, children's book author, Eugene Gene Upshaw, football player,